Oh, well, now you can't wait for it. This is the Workers' Cottage and the incredibly well-heeled avuncular host. Richo, do you like that word? Avuncular?
Avuncular, it suits me. I think it sums me up, yes. I am avuncular. It's a very good word, actually. Good for you. I mean, it's certainly an improvement on your average, so good on you.
Now, your mate Daniel Andrews, eh? Daniel Andrews. He says every other night that he's sending best wishes to the families of the deceased. Shouldn't they be condolences, Graham?
Well, I think Andrews has had a dreadful couple of weeks. And I think he's going to have to accept some responsibility that no one wants to accept. I think that Daniel Andrews has had a great run, but I think COVID's just about brought him undone. Now, I'd love to see him survive because I think he's been so good for so long. But if he survives this, he is a miracle man because, honestly, you can survive anything, but you can't survive people dying. That's just beyond the pale.
Look, I mean, should he go? Are you saying Andrews should... See, surely to God, someone who's created the mess can't be left to try and get the state out of the mess.
Well, I think these are very difficult times for him. He's got big decisions to make.
But
I think it's very
difficult times for the families of dead people, Graham. It's difficult times.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. That the problem he's got is that they're very hard times all over the place, not just for him. And I think he's got to look at that very carefully. He's had a great career, but sometimes you're brought undone by circumstances. This time I just don't think that he can look them all in the eye in Victoria and say, I'm continuing on. I think that's going to be very difficult for him.
That's a very significant comment by a senior statesman in the Labor Party. See, Graham, what they're saying to me is, in correspondence every day, he recites every day how many new cases. And people are saying to me, why doesn't he tell us how many new cancer cases? There were 5.1 million this year. We have 450 deaths in 7 months. Why doesn't he tell us 440 people die every day in this country instead of frightening the hell out of people? Why doesn't he tell us how many people have been made jobless by the lockdown? Why doesn't he tell us how many businesses have been forced into bankruptcy? How many mortgages can't be paid? How many people are homeless? How many marriages have broken down? I mean, these are all consequences. He seems indifferent to all of this, Graham.
Well, I'm not sure that he's able to focus on it. He just seems completely unable at the moment to accept all of these negatives that are happening around him. And one of them that you just touched on, family breakdown, is really serious. Whenever this kind of pressure is put on our society, there's an awful lot of individual unhappiness. The kind that doesn't get on television, the kind that doesn't get on the front page of the paper, but the kind that hurts, and hurts really badly.
That's a wonderful comment. Wonderful comment. See, I have been telling people about the Lancet magazine, which goes back to 1823. I mean, it's the world authority on prescriptions for handling disease, which said recently, quote, in our analysis, full lockdowns and widespread COVID testing were not associated with reductions in the number of critical cases or overall mortality. I mean, why can't these people do some homework and listen to people other than Jeanette Young in Queensland? I don't even know how qualified she is to be giving the kind of advice she's giving.
I don't know either, and that's what you worry about really seriously. I mean, there are times when individual bureaucrats become really powerful, and I always worry about that because no one elected them. And it's supposed to be the case in the modern era that ministers give orders. But what's happened is we've got a whole class, a whole political class, so terrified of error that they won't give orders and they hide behind their bureaucracy all the time, so you can always say it was him, it wasn't me.
That's an outstanding comment, Graham, I have to say. I'm being very serious. I just want to leave on one note. Michelle Obama poured out this vitriol towards Trump, but she said of the presidency, quote, and I made this point earlier tonight, the job is hard, it requires clear-headed judgment, a mastery of complex and competing issues, a devotion to facts and history, a moral compass and an ability to listen. You can't fake your way through this. I mean, poor old Biden doesn't meet any of those criteria, does he?
No, I mean, the fact that America has got the choice they have today is a disgrace. I can't believe that the best America can do is Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Yeah, I think it's a very good
pathetic.
Point. Very good.
It really is.
Very good point. Now listen, pathetic is not a word we could apply to you tonight. You have been outstanding, my friend. The Workers' Cottage is doing wonderful things for you. It must have been the St George colouring in your tie, I think. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Yes.
Hey? Get into
Good
that
on you, mate. I shall return.
Get into that MSG.
I'll do my best.
There he is at the Workers' Cottage. Richo,